Does anyone here remember a semi-popular YouTuber reactor named Abraham Foulkes? He was a YouTube reactor who started his channel back in 2014 and used to react to several YouTube poops and the occasional movie trailer. His channel had around 20,000 subs and he posted around a total of 72 reactions. Unfortunately, in September of 2018, Abraham Foulkes deleted his channel for no good reason. It then later came out that Abraham Foulkes had deleted his channel due to being very busy with college life and amongst other things. Many users began re-uploading his old reactions while others eagerly and worriedly await for the day of the mighty Foulkes' return. However, what not a lot of people really don't know is that Abraham didn't delete his channel for the reasons he listed above. No, I'm afraid the real reason is far more sinister and far more smelly. Even smellier than Mr. Krabs' laundry basket. Let us go back to the September of 2018, shall we? Abraham Foulkes was at his Arizona college apartment and was deep in thought. And he was troubled as he had not been able to upload a single reaction as well as over a year, and his friends or fans are getting worried. He had planned returning sooner, but far too busy with college and work, he decided that he finally came for his return, and for this tremendous occasion, he would react to a Caillou YouTube poop. He began reacting and filming his reaction, and seeming things to go well with Foulkes, getting really freaked out by Caillou eating slimy baked beans, and Daddy getting gunned down by a smelly farmer. It was all good until Abraham heard a knock at the door. Thinking it was one of his college roommates, asking for a cup of tea and scones, Foulkes paused the video and let go to answer the door. When he opened the door, however, he saw a face he never expected to be standing outside his door. It was BSL Reaction Asylum, or Blood Spitting Lizard if you want to call it, of reaction videos, you cheeky little chocolate disgustive biscuit. BSL then came in accompanied by his red head of the Ranger Bravo and his fellow reactor named Charmex, who had stolen BSL's title as the king of YTP reactions. Despite BSL and Charmex go very well, one would say I digress. Foulkes looked very surprised before asking, "What are you doing here, BSL?" BSL smiled a cunning smile before saying, "Abraham, you need to stop reacting to that YTP or else bad things are going to happen." Abraham then looked puzzled before saying in a sarcastic tone, "Oh yeah, well bad things always do happen when Caillou is involved." "Abraham, this is serious," BSL said before continuing with, "You must stop reacting to the videos you've done before." Puzzled in a sarcastic tone, "Oh well, what are you gonna do about it?" Before BSL could even finish his sentence, the man heard at the door behind him and opened up, turning around for Abraham Foulkes to come face to face with his arch nemesis Caillou. "Oh no, not you," Abraham cried at the top of his lungs, as Caillou grabbed him and lifted him up in the air with an immense strength. "Let go of Caillou, or I'll send you to Captain America," Charmex yelled, while throwing Captain America bobblehead at Caillou, which might expect absolutely nothing. Caillou's eyes suddenly turned red, and he shot lasers out of them at Charmex, which ended up killing him. "Charmex!" BSL Ranger Bravo cried in despair, while Abraham snickered behind the Snickers bar. "What do you want with me, Caillou?" Abraham hysterically cried. Caillou then looked at Abraham Foulkes with an evil grin before saying, "You keep reacting to YTPs and me and laugh in my face. I'm sick of it. I'm gonna kill you along with those two fools, BSL and Ranger Bravo." Ranger Bravo then lifted up his hands before saying, "Now hang on just a darn minute. I never reacted to any Caillou YTPs." Ranger Bravo was quickly silenced when Caillou threw a brick at him, which somehow didn't affect Bravo in the slightest, apart making him shut up. Caillou then threw Abraham down the floor before continuing with, "I'm just a good kid, and those YTPs keep making me a mockery of me and my daddy. You reacting to them allows you YTP creators to keep making more and more of them. Now I'm going to kill you and your friends." Abraham laughed before asking, "Oh yeah? You and what army?" As soon as Abraham opened the door, the apartment swung open, Caillou's backup is coming in, and his army consists of Caillou's daddy, Caillou's grandpa, SpongeBob, Squidward, and Rainbow Dash, and Michael Rosen. "Hello," Michael Rosen proclaimed happily. Foulkes then sighed before saying, "Oh, that army." Apparently upon seeing Rainbow Dash, BSL cried, "Why is My Little Pony in everything?" Suddenly the fight started with Abraham and BSL and Ranger Bravo, trying their best to defeat the forces of the evil Caillou. "Well, it's been a while, Mr. Rosen," Abraham said, which Michael Rosen replied with, "I peed in your soup, and I enjoyed it too." "Oh, doing that kind of harsh, don't you think?" Abraham asked while knocking Rosen in the chest, but it had no effect whatsoever. BSL meanwhile was fighting SpongeBob and Squidward. "Take this," Squidward yelled, before pulling out his clarinet and began using the power of music to try to kill BSL. "That wasn't unnecessary," BSL cried while putting his hand on the headphones in, but they were no use into drowning out the horrid sounds of Squidward's clarinet. SpongeBob then appeared behind BSL, who whacked him over with the head with his spatula, causing BSL to fall into the floor in pain. Ranger Bravo, on the other hand, was hiding from Rainbow Dash, before he could not bring himself into anything in this fight with one of his favorite ponies. "I promise this is going to be totally awesome," Dash proclaimed while throwing away the sofa which Ranger was hiding behind. "No, Dash, you can't kill me. I can't kill one of your biggest fans." Rainbow Dash then suddenly realized what she was doing and said, "You're right. What the heck am I doing?" Caillou then appeared behind Dash and said, "You fool, Rainbow. Crash your frickin' job." "But nobody calls me Crash," Rainbow Dash proclaimed angrily while charging into Caillou. While Rainbow Dash and Caillou fought to the death, Ranger Bravo was then targeted by Caillou's daddy and grandpa. "He's taking a crap," Caillou's grandpa said rather ironically, while throwing penguins at Ranger. "Ah!" Ranger cringed while he was getting hit by penguins. Ranger Bravo eventually managed to escape and regroup with Abraham and BSL, who were still huddled in the corner along with Rainbow Dash, who had been easily defeated by Caillou. "It's no use, BSL. We're all dead," Abraham cried as BSL kept laughing. "You really have a backup, Caillou? Well, two can play that game." Suddenly, the roof of the college was lifted by Mr. Potato from Peppa Pig. "Did someone say my name?" Mr. Potato asked. "No, they didn't," Mr. Chow said, who was accompanied by his wife, Twilight Sparkle. The rest of BSL's backup included Patrick Star, Buzz Lightyear, Dr. Nearfro, and Hudge the Biker. "Road rage, boys!" Hudge yelled angrily while running towards Michael Rosen over with his motorcycles. "Oh no!" Michael Rosen cried, was getting ran over. Suddenly, a pirate ship crashed into the apartment complex, with Colonel Dono sliding down an anchor in the living room. He was accompanied by his accountant, Captain Hook, who sure does love setting accounts. "Oh no, Dodo, no!" Mr. Charles cried. You see, Mr. Charles was fully aware of Colonel Dodo's horrible singing. Colonel Dodo then had an extremely bad hearing after he was so desperate for fish and chips. "Whoa, sail away with me, boys," Colonel Dodo said, while rapping away with BSL. "BSL, what the hell are you even doing?" Foulkes then cried as BSL stopped getting distracted and continued to help Abraham with his cohorts fight against the evil forces of the even eviler Caillou. With BSL's backup, the fight then came much more with Abraham's side and Michael Rosen getting poisoned by laxatives by Mr. Chow, who was then fully aware of Michael's horrible bathroom trouble. Squidward's clarinet was eaten by Patrick, and Caillou's daddy was thrown out of the window by Rainbow Dash and Twilight. Daddy then fell 100 feet from the ground below and asked, "Hey, where's Caillou?" Suddenly the blue sky above Abraham and his gang turned gray, and it soon began to violently pour and thunder clouds began to form. "Call in the Wonderbolts!" Dash cried to Twilight, who's made a hasty call to the Wonderbolts headquarters. The Wonderbolts then showed up, but they were incredibly useless, as Caillou killed them in 2 seconds with his eye lasers. Abraham was then cornered by SpongeBob. Then an idea struck. "Say, SpongeBob, What did you call Patrick Rick? SpongeBob then looked puzzled before asking, What in the scouts are you talking about, folks? I never called Patrick. Before SpongeBob could even elaborate any further, he was picked up by Patrick. My name's not Rick! Patrick then ate SpongeBob in one bite, which caused him to pull a dreadful face, like if someone does after drowning in an incredibly smelly prune smoothie before the road trip to New York City, which could result in a promotion to executive. Suddenly, Caillou began to grow taller and taller, arose only to 500 feet tall. Time to die, Abraham, folks, Caillou proclaimed, while holding up his massive boot to stomp Abraham. But not today, Zurg, Buzz proclaimed, while throwing some bricks at Caillou's face. Stunning him for a brief moment, Buzz then proceeded to throw a lightsaber at Foulkes. What's this for? Abraham asked, while marveling the lightsaber, which the color was blue. You have to be the one to kill Caillou, Abraham. That's how the prophecy goes, BSL explained. Prophecy? What prophecy? Before BSL could answer Abraham's question, and Caillou regained his strength and began stomping around the apartment in mad fashion. Caillou's grandpa was picked up by Caillou and placed on his shoulder. I never liked you, Abraham, folks. From the moment you first reacted to the YTP of me, Caillou angrily yelled as his voice became loud and demonic sounding. How the heck are we supposed to kill him, guys? Ranger Bravo asked in a panic. Leave it to me, Ted Glenn said, as he entered the apartment carrying a newspaper. Then he revealed himself to be holding a magic wand, used to make Abraham Foulkes rise up to be 500 feet tall, just like Caillou. It's time for us to shine. Ranger Bravo then proclaimed happily as the group climbed onto Abraham's shoulders, and well apart from Colonel Dodo, who was busy eating some fish and chips with Sir Topham Hatt and the conductor, while Thomas meanwhile died from indigestion. The fish and chips were Abraham's dinner, and not the rude carrots and onions. Abraham and Caillou had grabbed each other in a massive wrestling match, while Abraham said, No more Caillou. Caillou laughed before saying, You fool, Abraham. I must win, and I've almost won. No, Abraham yelled as he pulled out his lightsaber, only to find that Caillou had his own lightsaber, which was in a red color. Now where were we? Caillou asked, as he and Abraham began engaging into a lightsaber duel. We've got to help Abraham, and fast, Dr. Nifro cried, while attempting to fly towards Caillou on his scooter bike, only to get killed by Caillou's grandpa, who had a welding shotgun. You, Mr. Charles yelled, as he forced Buzz to shoot the laser at Caillou's grandpa. Careful with that, son. It's extremely dangerous, Buzz then cried in despair, as Caillou's grandpa then burned to death because of the lasers setting him on fire. But for some reason, as the fire as well as Grandpa's death didn't really seem to bother Caillou, not even the slightest. He was going to be preoccupied while fighting Abraham Foulkes to notice. Suddenly, Rainbow Dash and Twilight began crashing and flying around Caillou, causing him to start swatting at them as if they were both bothersome flies. Ranger Bravo and Mr. Charles meanwhile hitched a ride on Huge's motorbike and used it to ride across Caillou's shoulders, which made him become very distracted. Meanwhile, Colonel Dono and Captain Hook began crashing into their ship onto Caillou's legs, making him begin to lose his balance. As Abraham laughed, this was his chance. Now, Abraham, BSL said, as Abraham then threw his lightsaber into Caillou. With it going all the way down, Caillou then pulled the lightsaber out and cried, No! Like I said, no more Caillou, not now, not ever, Abraham confidently said as Caillou began falling towards the floor with the blood coming out of him. Caillou then fell to the floor in a pool of blood and proceeded to crash through all the floors of the apartment complex to the very bottom, where he eventually shrunk to his normal size. Abraham then shrunk to his normal size and headed towards downstairs in order to make sure that Caillou was truly dead. BSL and the others accompanied by Caillou's dead corpse. Abraham then turned to face BSL and asked, So is it really over? Yes, but... BSL was interrupted as Abraham asked, But what? BSL then coughed nervously before saying, Sorry to say this, Abraham, but even with Caillou dead, his spirit is still out there. You can only longer make YTP reactions of any kind. Of course, Abraham looked furious before saying, "You're kidding me, right? I mean, Caillou is dead, so that should be right." Mr. Charles dusted himself off before saying, "Well, it should be. Unfortunately, with Caillou dead, you can't react to any more YTPs." "Well, may I ask why?" Abraham asked before BSL responded with, "You see, for some reason, your reactions angered the great YTP gods, and they informed Caillou of your reactions to YTPs regarding them. So they gave him the power and resources to come after you. They were the reason why he was able to grow 500 feet tall, and they have laser beams for them, and so much on and so forth." Abraham sat down in the nearby chair and asked, "The great YTP gods, eh? Well, why don't they come after you, Chaos and Ranger?" It was Ranger Bravo who answered with, "The gods hate you, and most of all, they hate always when you react to Caillou YTPs. Caillou is a good friend of theirs, and their reaction videos was the point to push them over the edge." Abraham looked at Ranger and said, "So you're saying that basically is even though I killed Caillou, he still won at the end?" Ranger then looked down before saying, "I hate to say it, but you're right." Caillou's daddy then appears from underneath from some rubble and says, "Hey, where's Caillou?" Mr. Charles pulled an incredibly pissed off face and yelled, "He's dead! Can't you see that?" Caillou's daddy looked at Caillou's dead body for a few seconds before jumping into the air song "I'm Walking in the Sunshine" somehow began playing in the background. "Caillou is dead! I'm finally free!" Caillou's daddy proclaimed as he was picked up by James Norrington, who the local governor asked, "Are you accepting the commando's proposal?" "Yes, I am," Caillou's daddy proclaimed happily, and the trio disappeared in the sunset. And as for Patrick, for some bizarre reason, began chasing, and then after them, all the way towards the sun, never to be seen again. That evening, Abraham said goodbye to his friends, Charles to bring back to Ponyville with Twilight and Rainbow and Dash. "See you around, Abraham," Charles said, as he and Abraham exchanged a friendly hug. Ranger Bravo said his goodbyes and then went home. Buzz went back to Bonnie's room, and after saying his goodbyes, and so on and so forth, the last person to leave was BSL himself, who gave Abraham a piece of advice. "I want you to delete your channel and never look back," BSL warned as Abraham nodded slowly. "See you around, blood-spitting lizard," Abraham said as BSL suddenly grew wings and proceeded to fly towards his home. Sitting back on his computer chair, Abraham took one final look at his channel as a tear formed in his eye. Then he slowly and reluctantly clicked on the delete channel button, and with that fatal button click, Abraham Foulkes' YT channel was no more. It all worked out just fine. Abraham went back to college, and somehow no one knew or questioned him about the damages that he and Caillou caused during their fight. He moved into a new apartment complex and slowly moved on with his life. And while he still misses his channel, Abraham knows that it was the right thing to do, as he did not want to face the wrath of the great YTP gods. He also lied about the reasons behind his absence after being advised to do it by BSL. Of course, Abraham still thinks about his YouTube channel every night when he goes to sleep, and every morning when he wakes up. Maybe one day he could return. Maybe he could do some other content aside from reacting. Whatever the cause Abraham Foulkes may do, he will always be remembered the king of YTP reactions, and he will always remember that. And that, my little pretties, was why Abraham Foulkes really deleted his channel. A funny pasta written by Matthew Bumford. My final thoughts on the story? To be completely and utterly honest, I remember this pasta, being in the For the Shadow Lioness category. I think I was looking there because, I know Matthew Bumford and a couple of people that I do know send me, stories for me to narrate. And I realized that I think I might have done this story. I really don't know. I really just don't know if I done this story or not. Well, maybe in 2019, I believe. Oh, pardon me about that. Which I can definitely say that now that I kind of remember this user who, Abraham Foulkes, who really, sat there and narrated funny pastas and that, not narrate, but he kind of did, reaction videos of you could definitely say he did some, reaction videos and that. And, I kind of remember him sitting there and, watching him a lot. So I definitely have to say, he basically, had, was a known YouTube star. But of course, right here, to be completely honest, I really had no idea what, but this might actually be something. I know this is a funny pasta, so it's not meant to be taken seriously. I definitely have to say it's a pretty good, we could definitely say it's a pretty good pasta. I really do like how this went out. It was amazing. I really do found this to be a rather good, story for what it is. I really like Abraham Foulkes' videos. Now, unfortunately, his channel is gone. Well, there's some, channels that re-upload his content, so there's that. There's like some videos who, people who re-upload his videos, which I really have to say, I'm really glad they did re-upload them. So, what does that have to do with the review? Well, my final thoughts on this review. Now, I say it's a pretty good funny pasta. Like, I watched this one not too long ago, and I really liked it. It's a pretty good, pasta for what it is. It's a pretty good, it's really good for what it is. I really do like his reaction videos, and I know this is a funny pasta, but I really have to say, it's pretty well made. I really have to say it's really well done and made. Like, I love how, the storytelling of this is amazing. It's really funny. I really have to say this one was honestly really good. So Matthew Bumford, you did a pretty good job with this story. Now, I kind of realized that it's been quite a while since I watched Abraham Foulkes. I don't know what happened to his main channel. I think it might have got terminated. I don't know. But if someone wants to clarify what happened to his channel, feel free to. Even if it's in the comments section, feel free to. But I definitely have to say that, this story was a pretty funny one. So, the grammar is good, like always. The sentence structuring was good. The punctuation was great. Everything about this story was really good. And it was funny, too. Like, I had to take multiple, reads before I actually go ahead and do the final recording, which, I'm doing that right now. Just so then that way I can sit there and go through it as most of as I can without bursting out laughing so many times. It's pretty good and funny regards to this. I think this was written, I guess, I think it might have been written maybe earlier in 2020. I'm not really sure. But I really do appreciate this story. And I really remember, this brings me back memories back when Abraham Foulkes used to be on his channel. I used to watch his videos a lot. But not only that, I was very sad that, a recent YouTuber that does reaction videos, Charmex, left, I think, day before April Fool's Day, which I really don't know if he's ever going to come back. I hope he does return someday, but at the same time, it's his choice. But I guess I'm going to wrap up the review now. It's a pretty good funny pasta. It's really amazing. And I really do have to say this one's actually pretty funny. So with that being the case and that being said, I'm going to wrap up this review right now and say that this is just simply my own personal opinion. And if you disagree with me, that's fine too, as we're all entitled to our own opinions in regards to these funny pastas. And this is just simply my own personal thoughts. My final rating of this funny pasta is going to be a 10 out of 10. A pretty good funny pasta. It was really well made in detail. I really like it. There's definitely a lot of great time and effort into this, and I really remember that this brings me nostalgia for, Abraham Foulkes, and I really do hope he does come back if he decides to, which I really hope he does. But anyways, that being said, what did you guys think about this curry pasta? Did you all enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what you have done personally to help make this story a lot better? Feel free to leave me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section down below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you happen to be brand new here on this channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so when I upload, so then you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, please roll the outro because I'm out.